Peace and love, peace, love, and light. Thank you all for tuning in on this beautiful evening, this beautiful weather. The bees are buzzing, the bees are pollinating, things are coming back to life. It's a great time. A lot of things that I've been planning and for a minute in general are just starting to come to fruition. So I just want to express my gratitude towards that and all of the, compound interest of the things that we've been creating and multiplying over time. So I'm super grateful for such, super grateful for all of you guys that are tuning in here. Today I'm going to go over how I used personally consumer law to delete over $100,000 in debt. And yes, it is all legal. Everything that I'm about to show you guys, I'm going to give you guys my exact process on not only $100,000, what I've been able to do for me, my siblings, but also for the over $1 million in which our company has discharged completely since 2021. Yes, since 2021, we've discharged once again over $1 million in debt with exactly what I'm about to teach you guys here. All you guys got to do is simply take action on it. And if you guys have any questions, make sure to drop down in the comment section. I'm gonna write a little something and then we'll get right into this video. I want this video to be something for all of you guys to be able to go back to, watch this, and apply all the information that I'm going to be dropping here in this video. So give me 1 second and we'll get started right after. Shout out to everybody streaming in here though on Twitch. We got some people streaming in on Twitch. I'm looking to grow my following on there. You guys can see the is at CreditGotti on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, and on Instagram. So all platforms we got CreditGotti as where you guys can find us and all of the things that we've got coming forth for all of you guys. So let's go ahead and get into today's video. So first and foremost, I want to talk about the beginning of Title 15, Chapter 41. I'm going to take you guys back a little bit further. So when I came across this really blew my mind. When I came across Title 15, these U.S. codes, how many of you guys were mind blown when you guys came across these U.S. codes and that there were actually laws in place that protected us consumers and against a lot of these deceitful practices, these unfair practices, these misleading practices that they're constantly using time and time again to attempt to collect an alleged debt. Things that we think in our reality before I came across this information that I'm obligated to making these payments. Well, if I knew what I knew now, if you knew better, you could only do better. So we're going to hop into Title 15, Commerce and Trade, because the moment that I found out that the United States was a federal corporation back in 2021, that made me realize that if it's a corporation, that everything within a corporation is commerce. So everything is a business transaction. See, I came across Title 28, U.S. Code 3002, and this showed me verbatim very clearly. And I came across a couple of different individuals like Chris Hauser, who was teaching the 1099A process. But through that, and in those groups, I came across different books like Living in the Private. I came across different UCC books, different U.S. code books, and the discharging of a debt and how to discharge debt with the FDCPA. I came across all of this information, and I came across this right here as well, that the United States is a federal corporation. So I wanted to bring awareness to such as everything is commerce and trade, and it made all of this make sense here in Deuteronomy 15. One of my mentors took me to Deuteronomy 15 and said, this is the book of Numbers. And within here it states and talks about the year of canceling debts. He says there's a reason why they tell you in the credit space that after every 7 years, you guys can remove debts, right? Well, if we actually hop into scripture, we'll see that at the end of every 7 years, you must cancel debts. Well, that's why they're obligated to canceling these debts after the 7 years. This is how it is to be done. Every creditor shall cancel any loan that they have made to a fellow Israelite. They shall not require payment from anyone among their own people, because the Lord's time for canceling debts has been proclaimed. You may require payment from a foreigner, Well, I want to bring awareness to the fact that all of these corporations are foreign entities, right? The United States themselves is a foreign entity, and they've created a organization that is mirroring you, the natural and the living person, but it is not you, and you got to know how to separate yourself from such. But also at the same time, we got to understand that as a consumer within this corporation, right, as a natural person, the consumer, the person who's keeping this business up and running, with our electoral votes, with, us paying taxes, right, all of these things, with us continuing to register our kids into the schooling system, right, we're allowing the system to continue to flow and, function. I want you guys to understand that without us, without the consumers, without the natural people, there none of these entities are even a thing, right? They're all foreign entities, right? Operating on our land, the law, the law of the land. This land has been here way before any one of these entities or corporations, and all of these corporations are foreign entities to this land. However, there need be no poor people among you. Why are there so many poor people though? Especially in a lot of these bigger cities, especially in these cities where they're looking to make tech cities like Phoenix, like downtown in Tampa, where they just got hit with that natural disaster, right? All of these things, why is it that there's so many poor people walking amongst them in the land your God is giving you to possess you as your inheritance? He will richly bless you. If only you fully obey the Lord your God and be careful to follow all these commands I'm giving you today. For the Lord your God will bless you as he has promised, and you will lend to many nations. That's what I want you guys to understand. You will lend to many nations, but you will borrow from none. You will rule over many nations, but none will rule over you. So I want you to understand that we're lending to all of these nations, but we're not ever borrowing. Borrow from none, but will borrow from none. You are not borrowing when you are extending your credit, not a dollar from any of these corporations. You are actually granting these corporations the right to therefore, and think about a grant, right? That's why we got to understand these words in terms of law and go through and study that Black's Law Dictionary. But the term, what was the term I was just going over? um, I forgot the term I was going over. Let's take a deep breath, recenter ourselves. I'm just so excited to present this information to y'all because I wish I had this information, and this clear with this much clarity. That's what I was going to say. To be able to go out and exercise and take action, I'm going to give you guys the tools, the places where to go about, disputing with these companies. So now that I understand this, now I can come here to Title 15. Title 15 is all commerce and trade. So it's not just Chapter 41 that we're going to go through. Everything when it comes to commerce and trade, and now that we understand that everything is commerce with a corporation, the United States being that corporation, well, I would like to go through and see what protections do I have as a consumer within this corporation. That's Chapter 41. Also, if you feel that your privacy has been invaded, well, you can come here to Chapter 94 and your privacy. Insurance, you guys can come here to Chapter 93. So on and so forth, you guys can come here, telephone disclosures and dispute. You feel that you've been getting, phone calls, still, all of these things are applicable to you guys here, so go through and read them. ADA stuff, right? A lot of different things. So we're going to come here to Department of Commerce, Chapter 41, and then we're going to start at the top with truth lending, right? Truth and lending is where I want all of you guys to start. I'm going to give you guys the big three sub-chapters that I want you guys to cover. I want you guys to explore all of this for yourselves and by yourselves as well, too. I've got tons of videos and breakdowns on these videos as well, especially for my people that are looking to become a part of the mentorship. Right now, the university is down, so I would recommend the university, especially because it's a lot more cost efficient. But with the mentorship, rather than paying monthly for the university, you guys will get a full access to that as well as a mentorship course and personal access to me, my teachings. We do 2 calls a week, and we have a private community as well too. So you guys will get access to more in-depth trainings on all of these sub-chapters as well with our mentorship. You guys can find this at our website at billionairesclub.com, or you guys could just simply text the word 305 or text the number 305-575 2843, the words consumer law, and me and my team will reach out to you. You could also see the number down below in the description. But now, if we hop here into truth in lending, we see that somebody was not being truthful in lending, so therefore Congress passes. We're always going to find, congressional findings. What did Congress find? They're always going to let us know what they found right away. And then we're going to have a definition section, which I believe is probably the most important part with each subchapter. And we'll come through here and we'll break down these terms. The term credit, it means the right granted. That's exactly verbatim what I had stated earlier. So we are granting these corporations a right. And if we think about the term grant and what a grant is, you got to qualify for certain grants. Not everybody just gets these grants, right? By these corporations, by these businesses, these nonprofits, they got to apply for these grants, and they got to be approved for them. They're not just because they're a nonprofit going to get these grants. They got to show as to why they should be the nominee and the candidate for that grant. We got the term consumer. What does it mean? A lot of you guys don't even know the term consumer. The term open-ended credit plan, which is one of the videos that's helped my YouTube grow, is where I broke down an open-ended credit plan and how we have an infinite credit plan, and we have the ability to go out and contract with any bank as many times whenever we please, right? These are, if we're discriminated against in any way possible, that's why they've came out with the Equal Credit Opportunity Act, which is also within this chapter 41 as well. It's one of the subchapters in chapter 41. So we'll continue going through here. There's tons of different, just definitions that will help you guys specifically, that I want you all to draft up and get familiar with, study these, create note cards for these. And I'm going to show you guys where to insert these, how to draft these up into your guys' letters, and what findings have you found from these corporations violating you guys and your rights. So that was Truth in Lending. Truth in Lending starts at 15 U.S.C. 1601. Now we're going to come down here to the Fair Credit Reporting Act, which is dealing with consumer reporting agencies. I also want to go through this with you guys, being that there's over 300, a list of consumer. I talked about this the other day, about 2 days ago. List of consumer reporting agencies. We downloaded the PDF, and you guys seen the list of the 2025 consumer reporting agencies. So I want you guys to go through that, and I want you guys to see and be aware that there's more than just Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, and they're all held, applicable. All these laws under the FCRA. All of these corporations are regulated and must abide by the Fair Credit Reporting Act, right? So the FCRA, which is here, will help you guys get tons of deletions off of things that will help your insurance even be lowered. That will help you guys with employment. Maybe you guys have been denied employment because of public records. For all of my individuals out there that have been incarcerated, for all my individuals out there that have child support, for all my individuals out there that have, crazy driving records, well, all of that can be fixed with you guys understanding the FCRA. Does that make sense? Drop a Billionaires Club, because the goal is to empower, enrich, and educate 1 billion lives. Drop Billionaires Club if you guys are taking away any value thus far. I'm not only going to talk about it, you guys about all of these different laws, and not show you guys how, even with beginner level, even at beginner level. So if you guys are just meeting somebody, getting into this information, if you guys are just starting to get your head around this information, well, this video is for you guys. So make sure to like this video and make sure to share this video as well with 5 individuals. We got 5 people here live right now on YouTube. We've got more people tuned in as well on Twitch, but let's go ahead and let's send this to 5 individuals that will benefit from this information. All right, family. So let's see where we're at. All these flies. So FCRA, same thing. We got congressional findings. What did Congress find? This is exactly what Congress found. And then if we come back here, we can go to the definition section. Here's the definitions of such. All right, here goes the definitions. All right, we got block of information resulting from identity theft. All right, really look into what identity theft is as well. All right, there's been some crazy things that I've heard with identity theft. We've talked about before trafficking, and many people use a lot of trafficking methods to go ahead and get things removed as well too. Really break these things down and see what they're asking for. 1681 S2. This is another key one that I use as well in the FCRA. There's tons within the FCRA. You got to go through, and before you understand these subchapters, you got to know congressional findings and the definitions. Okay, let's see what Congress found. Congress found that the banking system is dependent upon fairness and accuracy. That's what they found. Fairness and accuracy. Without fairness and without accuracy, there is no banking system. We will lose confidence in the banking system, which is essential to the continued functioning of the banking system. So I want you to understand, without fair reporting, without accurate reporting, so if you find anything inaccurate, anything unfair, that should be removed from our consumer report. Now we got 1692, which is dealing with debt collectors. How many of you guys have received abundant and seen abundant evidence of the use of abusive, deceptive, and unfair debt collection practices by many debt collectors? Well, that's why Congress passed this subchapter back in 1977. This isn't something that's recent or modern. This has been going on, right? We understand, and we've heard the saying that history repeats itself. Well, it truly does, and that's why we got to understand our rights, especially with what's going on. And I was just talking with somebody, and we're even talking about a potential martial law and lockdown. And with that being said, we got to understand our rights. A lot of people's properties are going to be being taken and garnished, and so on and so forth. So with that being said, now is the time to truly understand this information more than ever, right? To know it, but to not do is to not know it also. Those that do know and you're not applying this information, we got to rethink and get back to the drawing board and execute. We got to draw out that game plan to execute. So those are the big 3 subchapters. I'm going to show you guys here with ChatGPT how I've literally been able to automate my whole business. All right, my whole business has been automated, discharging debt, over $1 million in debt off of using AI and drafting these things up into my artificial intelligence bot. I'm going to go ahead and open up a new tab. Before I do that, I'm going to show you guys a couple different places where you guys can actually go through and file these letters and these complaints that I'm about to show you guys. So we've got, first and foremost, the CFPB. So you guys can come here and file a complaint as a consumer. This is the Bureau as defined by Congress, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. You guys can also come here to the FDIC. We've got videos as well. We've got courses that go through each one of these complaints, and we'll show you guys how to file these complaints as well. We've got the FDIC. Boom, you guys can come here and file a complaint with the FDIC, the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. You guys can also come here to the SEC Consumer Complaint. All these places have, slots where we can file a complaint. You guys can go to whatever state that you guys are in, right? You guys can go to the California Attorney General Consumer Complaint. Consumer complaint against a business or a company, right? We can go to whatever state you guys are in. We can come here to the BBB. We can file a complaint through the BBB. If you guys have any questions, please do let me know. But as I'm going through these consumer law, these subchapters, I'm finding, okay, which one is applicable? They've had unfair practices. Well, I'm going to come here and I'm going to use 1692F. I'm going to copy and paste certain ones that are applicable. I'm going to come back here. Let me open up my tab. All of you guys gaining value. Drop a heart or drop the word love in the comment section if you guys are receiving the love. Okay, so let's see this. I'm going to insert 15 U.S.C. 1692. Which one is it? F. So this could even help you guys right here. Just going in and getting a better understanding of each one of these subs or each one of these codes as well. I'm just having it break down, and find me case law studies of people that have actually used 1692F in court and came out on top and won against these corporations, because there's actual people just like me. There's actual people just like you that didn't know anything about this information. They got their hands on it. They started to read on it. They started to study. They started to master the basics, the definitions, and the congressional findings. From there, they started to explore more. And listen, we didn't have this, at our hand when I first started coming across this back in 2021. Well, we did, but I wasn't aware of ChatGPT and these AIs, and even then, they're not as strong as they are now. You guys truly have a gold mine on your hands with such. Now I can break this down. Now I could insert in my standings, what I'm going through, my situation, my story, how I've been violated, how it's in accordance with this exact case law as well, and draft that up and cite that case law study as well within my letter. See, I want y'all to understand the weapon that you guys have at hand. I've upgraded mine as well. I got the teammates one. I got a whole business one. I got co-workers with me. I've got a whole, database where we're doing this through. So, what I want you guys to understand, family, is that it's simple. There's no need to overcomplicate this. Let's just take action on it. That's everything that I have for you guys today. I wanted to make this video short. I wanted to make this video a video where all of you guys can go back to, watch this video. I gave you guys multiple places to go through and dispute through different places. I'll give you guys a couple more as well. We got the CFPB. We did the BBB. Right. We can file a complaint through the BBB. You guys can come here to ftc.gov. You guys can come here to report fraud. If you guys want to create an FTC report, an identity theft report, you guys will come here to report identity theft. That also goes in accordance with 15 U.S.C. 1681 C2. This is the block of information resulting from identity theft, and one of the forms that it does request is this FTC report. So you guys would literally come here to report identity theft, and we've got tons of videos on that, even here free on the YouTube. If you just want to report fraud, which is more of like a complaint, rather than creating that whole identity theft report, you guys can come here to report fraud. This is more of a complaint through the Federal Trade Commission, and they'll reach out to those companies. These are dealerships. These are, debt collectors. These are financial institutions. Really, any corporation that's out there, any business, you guys can file a complaint through any one of these regulators, the BBB, the FTC, etc. All of these corporations are regulated by at least one regulator. My guy Kev says the Attorney General doesn't do nothing, neither does the CFPB. Well, since 2021, we've been able to discharge over $1 million in debt, and a big part of it, I would say, is because of both of those. Now, that's not everything, nor all of the communication that we've used, and just going through, and it never gets better as well than going through and doing actual mail and sending out actual mail. These other regulators are just extra help. I've gone back, though, every single time I've sent out one of them, a response from these companies, which at the end of the day, that's what you're looking for, is a response from them. The BBB, the CFPB isn't so much going to, be the ones to crack down, and we're the agents for the CFPB. So we're the ones who's doing the finding, all just like an FBI agent. They've got to find all of the evidence. The FBI isn't specifically the one who is breaking down and finding all of that, but it's the agents of the FBI, and we're agents of the CFPB, and we've got to go out and find and express the findings that we found and know how to elaborate with them. And that's why I believe AI is so key, is because it helps you guys all be able to do so, whether you guys are at beginner level, whether you guys are knowledgeable upon this. You guys have been studying this for 5, 10, 20 years, wherever you guys are at. Definitely make sure you guys are using AI, and with your knowledge that you do know, inserting it into that, having case law studies also cited within your guys' letters and findings. So other than that, that's all that I have for you guys. I appreciate you all tuning in. Let's make sure that we go back, we like this video, we share this video with other people that also can benefit from this. And if you guys are watching the replay and have any questions, please do feel free to text us at our business number at 305-575-2843. And I just dropped that down below. And if you guys have any other questions, please do let me know. Thank you all for being here. And as always, I'll see you all at the top because the bottom is way too crowded, man. Let's see. Elon dismantled the CFPB because they weren't doing anything for people. The attorney generals were the only ones getting paid. Yeah, there is a lot of money that hasn't been paid out, but that's also because a lot of people weren't aware of where to go. And there's just so many regulators. Right? Other countries only have about 1 to 2. We've got all these regulators that I just went through and showed you, the attorney general to, all of these different people that are looking to get their hands, and have a sense of power where we just got to really crack down on and only have about 1 to 2. So, no, 1,000%, that is why he was cracking down on it. But the CFPB is going to be here, and it's going to be here for some time. So, thank you all for being here. I appreciate you all. I look forward to potentially partnering with you guys with the mentorship as well, to where you guys can work with me and get these types of calls 2 times a week. Get access to me and my business partners and my mentors 2 times a week, as well as private communities, private discords, private, Facebook groups, etc. I appreciate you all, though, for tuning in, and I look forward to learning and growing with each and every single one of you guys. Make sure y'all are reading. Make sure y'all are reading every single day. We got the book with us, Think and Grow Rich. We're reading every single day. What's the Discord? Text us at 305-575-2843, and we'll send you the Discord link because it does expire after every 7 days, 2843. Okay. Have a blessed one, family. Peace.